So at about September the 22nd, about 1862, that Lincoln then announced his intentions of freeing the slaves. He said, I'm going to free the slaves. Let's see what the South would do. And then the general said, well, let's not put out anything in writing until we get a major political victory, whether it's Vicksburg or Gettysburg or something. And then we got something to really to piggyback on and announce that you're really going to do it. And so that way, and if we go ahead and do it, maybe that'll really be a big incentive. So that was in September, about September 22nd, 1862. The word went out. The South was very leery about whether or not the North was going to free these slaves. And so then come about January the 1st, 1863. He then says, well, what we're going to do is that we're still losing the war, so let's then just wait. And so they decided to wait, so let's wait a few years because they're losing the war. But the generals had picked up the fact that he was going to free the slaves. So guys like General William Tecumseh Sherman, he's then now fighting in the South. So he says, well, I'm going to take that up and follow through with it. Let's go ahead and do it because I'm a general. I'm fighting down here, not the president. I'm fighting. And if we can destroy the South by tricking them and thinking we're going to free the slaves, let's do it. So then he came up with this whole thing about let's take the land, all the confiscated land. And the property from these white plantation owners, every time we take over a plantation, let's take it. Now let's take them and divide it up and give 40 acres and a mule to every black. And let's give every black 40 acres and a mule. And that way, even if Lincoln hasn't moved, we can still do something to devastate the South emotionally. And so Tecumseh Sherman then says, now all the land I take from these white plantation owners, I'm going to give it to black folk. And he goes over and sets aside a long strip of land running from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way down to Jacksonville, Florida, and all those islands off the coast there. He says that's going to belong to black folk. That black folk are going to own all that land from South Carolina all the way down to the top of Florida. And they're going to own all the islands. He said, I'm going to give that to them.